Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into Overtime. I am Lee Patterson. Podcast version only again today. The Diamondbacks are on KATO as we speak, so that bumps the show, which is fine. We'll just do a podcast version and bring you a little abbreviated show for today. But we'll start, as always, with last week's football score, starting with the 3A. These are Thursday night games. Camp Verde beat Fountain Hills 51-13. Chinle over Mini Farms 41-0. Payson beat Page 43-6. And Round Valley beat St. John's 37-8. Last Friday night games, Antelope over Kofa 48-14. Morenci over Benson 35-0. Chino Valley beat Bourgade 23-2. Coolidge beat Santa Cruz 33-20. Dysart over Shadow Mountain 46-28. Florence beat Safford 29-26. This was a pretty crazy game. If you were listening to our Red Zone version of Friday Night Football last week here on KATO, Safford led 26-21 with just over a minute to play. Florence got the ball back on their own 7-yard line, and the very next play was a 93-yard touchdown run that sealed the win for Florence. It's crazy. It's why you play the game. I felt like Safford dominated that game for all but the last minute and a half. But when you play tough teams, you got to do that. There were a couple personal foul penalties on Safford late in that game that really, I think, help add to Florence's momentum. But 29-26, Florence over the Safford Bulldogs. Gilbert Christian beat ALA Ironwood 23-10. Ganado over Hopi 36-8. Kingman beat Kingman Academy 12-7. Mojave over ALA West Foothills 28-20. Odyssey Institute beat Tonopah 23-20. Paradise Honors over River Valley 60-19. Push Ridge beat Benjamin Franklin 34-7. Sabino beat Crimson 53-20. Santan Charter beat Santan Foothills 48-47. Sholo over Wilcox 48-19. Valley Christian beat Thatcher 15-14. And I've posted this on my social medias, and we talked about it even at the end of the broadcast last Friday night. I think Thatcher got hosed on that one. I really do. They had the ball inside the 1-yard line with 5 seconds to go. Quarterback Brett Jones takes the snap, takes 3 steps forwards, and falls down. And the officials come and say he was short when they unpile the pile. Video says he got in. The men in the stripes said he did not. Therefore, a Valley Christian 15-14 lead or win in that one. Parker over Wickenburg 20-3. Blue Ridge beat Window Rock 58-0. Tempe over Yuma 25-23. In games listed at the 2A level, last Thursday night, Heritage Academy Levine beat Valley Lutheran 42-3. Madison Highland over NFL Yet 36-0. And Altusay beat Valley Sanders 54-14. Globe over Arate Prep 28-8. Catalina beat San Pasqual 52-0. Red Mesa got the forfeit win over Coronado 1-0. Douglas keeps the copper pick 39-38 over Bisbee. Dysart beat Shadow Mountain 46-28. Glendale Prep over Gray Hills 49-0. Chandler Prep beat Highland Prep 67-36. St. John Paul II 22-8 over Mountainside. Olympian California beat Trivium Prep 49-19. Rincon picked up a win against Palo Verde 20-6. Tombstone blinked San Carlos 48-0. Scottsdale Prep beat Miami 31-0. And in probably the game of the night, Pima beat Scottsdale Christian 23-20. What a game for Pima. They really were peppered defensively by the Scottsdale Christian offense. They could really throw the football. And the Pima defense felt like they were on the field for way longer than their offense was. Maybe half or double, I should say. And they were able to hold a really high-scoring offense to just 20 and take advantage of it when they were on offense. The game winner came from Jeremiah Martinez from 32 yards out to give Pima the 23-20 lead late in the ball game. And the Pima defense was able to hold. And they are now undefeated and the favorites still to win the 2A after that win. That will be a great rematch if that game happens. Should happen at the 2A state championship game. Tanque Verde beat ALA Anthem South 43-0. Veritas over Sequoia Pathway 60-8. Washington beat Cortez 20-16, and Parker over Wickenburg 20-3. 1A football games. Last Thursday, there were none. Last Friday night, Tempe Prep and Civic U was canceled. Anthem Prep over North Phoenix Prep 49-14. Baghdad beat St. David 29-7. Mojave Accelerated over Desert Heights Prep 56-28. El Capitan over Mayor 50-0. Ray beat Joe City 45-8. Hayden beat Mogollon 34-18. Salome over Williams 20-6. Samuel beat Duncan 50-12. Superior over Fort Thomas 60-12. Valley Union picked up their first win in 2 seasons with a 50-48 win over Baba Kivri. And Water Canyon, Utah beat Fredonia 38-14. And before we move on to this week's games, the Ed Doherty Award watch list came out late last night, early this morning. I'm on the selection committee, so I saw it last night. It came out officially this morning to the rest of the media outlets. But over 100 people were chosen on the watch list, athletes from 1A to 6A, all across the state. Watch list players could potentially receive an Ed Doherty Award medallion when the selection committee announces its weekly picks beginning September 13th. However, nominees are not limited to those appearing in this list. So if you did not make the watch list, that does not mean you are not going to not be nominated during the week. This is just first 3 weeks watch list. This is just kind of like, hey, these guys played really well the first 3 weeks. But you could still, doesn't earn you a medallion yet. You still have to earn one from now on. But once you get a medallion, you are in. You are in. If you are awarded a medallion sometime in the next 10 weeks, that means you are in with a chance to win what is considered the Arizona High School Heisman. So players from our area that were nominated to the list, 2 from Morenci, 1 from Pima, 1 from Safford. Jeremiah Martinez, the fullback nose guard from Pima, he's nominated to the list. So is Safford quarterback Jojo Ruelas, Morenci running back Mikey Casillas, and Morenci defensive end, tight end Tristan Sanchez. All 4 of them nominated from our area and all made the list. And just a side note, there has to be stats and max preps for players to be nominated for this award. If there's no stats in max preps, they can't be nominated. So, just side note. The other small school players that were nominated, Nash Brewer from Show Low on the list. Tanca Verde running back Gavin Gilbert. Baghdad wide receiver Shane Hooper. Florence running back Josh Jackson. Bisbee quarterback Sebastian Lopez. Push Ridge quarterback Bubba Mustaine. Let's see, rolling down the list. Blue Ridge wide receiver David Simmons. Scottsdale Christian quarterback Jack Atkinson. That's pretty much it for 1A through 3A guys at a glance over the list. So congratulations to those local players who were named onto the watch list. So again, got to be able to find some stats. You cannot get nominated without stats to back up the nomination. So I will say that once again. Let's move to this week's games. We'll start at the 1A level. Thursday night games, Baba Kivri at Cicero Prep, Mogollon at Mayor, Lincoln Prep at Mojave Accelerated. Friday's game, the Civic U at Fort Thomas game has been canceled. Tempe Prep at Hayden, Rock Point at Joe City has been canceled. Salome at Maryville Prep, Superior at Ray, Desert Heights Prep at San Manuel, Duncan at St. David, Anthem Prep is at Valley Union, and Baghdad is at Williams. 2A portion of the schedule, on Thursday night, Red Mesa at Altusay, and Morenci at Pima. That'll be our game of the week. That's where we'll be broadcasting from tomorrow night at Pima High School, Ed Hubbard Field. as the Morenci Wildcats come to town to take on Pima. Short week for both teams. Pima in a very physical matchup last week with Scottsdale Christian, Morenci in cruise mode over Benson. On a short week, could be interesting. It's the rematch of last year's 2A state championship game. I think it's going to be a real good football game. It's going to be a physical game. Both teams run the football almost exclusively. Should be a really good football game tomorrow night in Pima. You can hear it at 7 o'clock on KATO. Friday night 2A games, Hopi at Zuni, New Mexico, Glendale Prep at Arate Prep, Camp Verde is at Arizona Lutheran, Shadow Mountain at Benson, ALA Anthem South at Catalina, Miami is at Chandler Prep, Antelope Union at Cortez, Tombstone at Globe, Lake Mead Christian Academy from Nevada is at Kingman Academy, Highland Prep at Madison Highland, San Carlos is at Pinon, Coronado at Palo Verde, Mountainside at San Pasqual, Bisbee is at Santa Cruz, Phoenix Christian at Sequoia Pathway, Gray Hills at St. John Paul II, Holbrook at St. John's, Scottsdale Prep at Trivium Prep, Ganado at Tuba City, Tonopah at Valley Lutheran, Santan Charter at Veritas Prep, and Valley Sanders at Window Rock. On the 3A side of things, Thursday night games tomorrow. Washington at Borgade Catholic, Dysart at Paradise Honors, Kofa at River Valley, and Valley Christian at Seton Catholic. On Friday night, Winslow is at Flagstaff, Sierra Linda is at ALA Ironwood, Peoria at ALA West Foothills, Benjamin Franklin at Arcadia, Mingus is at Blue Ridge, Tempe at Carl Hayden, Maryville at Chino Valley, Payson will go to Coconino, Coolidge is at Combs, Vista Grande is at Krinsman, Marcos Deniza at Fountain Hills, Kingman is at Gilbert Christian, Wickenburg at Lee Williams, Mojave at Lake Havasu, Sabino will be at Micah Mountain, Safford will travel to take on Rincon in Tucson. This is the 3A, 4A week, if you haven't got the drift so far. 3A teams all playing up to 4A, most of them playing up to 4A this week. Florence is at Santan Foothills, Sholo at Snowflake, Round Valley is at Thatcher, Ganado at Tuba City, Valley Sanders is at Window Rock, Odyssey Institute at Yunker, and Push Ridge travels to take on Yuma. That is this week's schedule for high school games. Also last night, Eastern Arizona College women's and men's soccer swept Chandler Gilbert. Both teams are 2-0 in the ACCAC. Eastern Arizona College volleyball is ranked 13th in the country. They play at home Friday night against Chandler Gilbert Community College as well. And that's about the wrap we got for you this week. Don't forget, Thursday night will be at Pima, Morenci and Pima High School, and a big rematch of last year's 2A state championship game. Thanks for joining us this week on the abbreviated podcast-only version. We'll talk to you Thursday night on the radio.